First contact and the ultimatum. Dr. Eliza Catry hadn't slept in 36 hours. The radio observatory in New Zealand's remote southern highlands was typically a quiet posting, perfect for an astronomer who preferred the company of stars to people. But the persistent anomaly in her data had kept her tethered to her workstation since yesterday morning, ignoring her colleagues' suggestions to rest. "Still at it, Eliza?" Dr. James Wong asked, placing a steaming mug of coffee beside her terminal. "Look at this pattern," she said, ignoring the coffee. "It's repeating with mathematical precision. These aren't random bursts. They're structured. Binary sequences forming complex data packets." James leaned closer to her screen. "Coming from where exactly?" "That's the thing," Eliza said, pulling up the stellar map. HD 85,512, approximately 36 light-years away. A potentially habitable exoplanet we've been monitoring for years, but never anything like this. "You're saying it's artificial," James stated, his voice dropping to a whisper. "I'm saying it can't be explained by any natural phenomenon we know of," Eliza replied, but her eyes said what her lips wouldn't. They were receiving a message from another civilization. Within 48 hours, observatories across the globe had confirmed Eliza's findings. The signal continued unabated, maintaining its precise mathematical structure. The United Nations hastily convened an emergency session, while the world's leading cryptographers and linguists worked around the clock to decode the alien transmission. The breakthrough came after 9 days of relentless effort. "It's a language primer," announced Dr. Takahashi of the International Cryptographic Coalition. "They're teaching us how to understand them, starting with mathematical constants and building toward abstract concepts." 3 weeks later, the first translated message was presented to the UN Security Council. "To the sentient species of the third planet, we are the Zilari Confederacy. Our civilization faces extinction. Massive vessels carrying our remaining population approach your solar system, pursued by the Horvath Dominion, who seek to harvest our biological and technological resources. We request sanctuary. If denied, we will continue our journey, but your system will still face the Horvath threat. We offer knowledge and technology in exchange for protection. You have 90 planetary rotations to decide. We await your response." The message was accompanied by detailed specifications of the Zilari fleet. 23 massive arcs carrying approximately 1.7 million survivors, along with their historical archives, technological database, and genetic repository. Telescopic observations confirmed objects matching the described vessels approaching from the direction of HD 85,512. Global panic ensued. Religious leaders proclaimed the end times, while conspiracy theorists accused governments of fabricating the crisis. Stock markets plummeted. Riots erupted in major cities worldwide. Military forces around the globe were placed on high alert. Admiral Helena Chen, newly appointed head of the International Space Defense Initiative, addressed the UN General Assembly. "We face an unprecedented situation," she said, her stern expression broadcast to billions worldwide. "Either choice carries existential risk. If we turn away the Zilari, we still face the Horvath. If we offer sanctuary, we potentially accelerate the confrontation. How can we trust these aliens?" demanded the Russian representative. "This could be an elaborate deception. Our analysis indicates the transmission is genuine," Admiral Chen replied. The approaching vessels matched the Zilari specifications precisely, and long-range scans show what appear to be damage patterns consistent with their account of fleeing conflict. Dr. Eliza Catry had been invited to address the assembly as the scientist who first detected the signal. "The Zilari have voluntarily shared their scientific knowledge as a gesture of good faith," she explained. "Their understanding of quantum mechanics alone could advance our technology by centuries. They're not demanding our help. They're requesting it, offering fair exchange, and being transparent about the risks." Debate raged for days. Nations formed alliances based on their positions, Military strategists assessed Earth's defensive capabilities against a technologically superior aggressor. Scientists evaluated the potential benefits of Zillari knowledge. Finally, the UN called for a global referendum, an unprecedented measure for an unprecedented crisis. For 1 week, citizens around the world voted on humanity's response. The result: 58% in favor of offering sanctuary. Earth's reply was transmitted toward the approaching Zillari fleet. To the Zillari Confederacy, humanity extends sanctuary. We will prepare defensive measures based on your technical specifications. We request immediate transfer of defensive technology to begin preparations. We stand with you. What followed was the most significant technological revolution in human history. The Zillari shared designs for energy shields, gravitational manipulators, and weapon systems that operated on principles barely theoretical in Earth science. Most crucially, they provided schematics for a planetary defense grid that could be constructed using Earth's existing industrial capacity, if the entire planet worked together. Admiral Chen was tasked with coordinating the global defense initiative. We have approximately 65 days before the Zillari fleet enters our solar system, she announced to the International Engineering Court assembled in Geneva. The Horvath will be roughly 7 days behind them. That gives us 72 days to construct a defense system unlike anything humanity has built before. Former enemies found themselves working side by side. North Korean engineers collaborated with South Korean counterparts. Indian and Pakistani scientists shared research facilities. The entire International Space Station was converted into a coordination hub for the construction of orbital defense platforms. Not everyone supported the effort. Resistance movements formed, some driven by xenophobia, others by genuine fear that humanity was being manipulated. A terrorist attack on the Atacama construction site claimed 23 lives. Military vessels had to protect supply ships delivering components to orbital assembly stations. Dr. Khatri worked directly with the Zillari representatives through the quantum communication link they had established. Each exchange expanded human understanding of physics and engineering exponentially. They're not just giving us weapons, she explained to Admiral Chen during one late-night strategy session. They're sharing their culture, their history, their art. These aren't just refugees. They're a civilization trying to survive. Let's make sure we all survive first, Chen replied grimly. The latest simulations still show our defenses at only 67% of recommended capacity when the Horvath arrive. As Earth's deadline approached, telescopes tracked the Zillari fleet entering the outer solar system. Behind them, moving at terrifying speed, darker ships pursued, the Horvath Dominion. Initial scans confirmed the Zillari's warning. The Horvath vessels were massive harvesters, designed to strip planets and process biological matter on an industrial scale. President Amara Okafor of the African Union, elected as Earth's representative to the Zillari, broadcast a message to both the approaching refugees and the people of Earth. In our long history, humanity has faced countless challenges that tested our resolve and our compassion. Today, we face the greatest test of all. We choose to stand not only for our own survival, but for the principle that life, all life, deserves protection from extinction. To the Zillari, we say, you are welcome here. To the Horvath, we say, this far and no further. And to the people of Earth, we say, today we cease to be alone in the universe. Today we become part of something greater. As the Zillari fleet approached Mars orbit, Earth's hastily constructed defense grid powered up for the first time. Satellites that once provided television now projected energy shields. Nuclear reactors across the planet diverted power to gravitic distortion arrays designed to slow the approaching Horvath fleet. The Zillari sent a final transmission before entering Earth's defensive perimeter. To humanity, we witnessed 17 civilizations deny us sanctuary before yours. Many were more advanced, with greater defensive capabilities. All chose self-preservation over compassion. All were eventually harvested regardless. You alone answered differently. Whatever comes next, Know that your species has demonstrated something precious and rare in this galaxy. Courage tempered with compassion. We stand ready to fight alongside you. As the countdown to confrontation reached 0, humanity collectively held its breath. Admiral Chen's command center beneath the Rocky Mountains monitored the approaching Horvath fleet. Dr. Katri stood at her side, representing the scientific coalition. On screens around the world, citizens watched as humanity prepared to make its stand against the stars. Defiance of the stars. The first Zilari arc entered Earth orbit precisely on schedule. Massive and crystalline, it reflected sunlight in prismatic patterns across the planet below. Within hours, 19 more arcs had taken position in a defensive formation around Earth, their remaining 4 vessels hanging back near Mars as a secondary line. "They're beautiful," whispered Dr. Katri as she watched the live feed from the orbital platform. "And in terrible condition," noted Admiral Chen. "Look at the structural damage to their hull sections. They've been running for decades." The Zilari Fleet Commander, Supreme Architect Viridian, established direct communication with Earth's Defense Command. "The Horvath will arrive in approximately 6 of your days," the alien leader announced, its translucent, multi-limbed form rippling with bioluminescent patterns that the translation software indicated conveyed deep concern. "They will not communicate. They will not negotiate. They harvest resources, biological, technological, and mineral, with absolute efficiency." "We've studied your defensive schematics," Admiral Chen replied. "Earth's forces are positioned according to your recommendations, but our implementation is only at 72% of optimal capacity." Viridian's skin flashed with patterns that translated as grim acknowledgement. "It will have to be sufficient. We have integrated our remaining functional vessels into your defense grid. Combined, we estimate a 43% probability of repelling the initial Horvath assault." "Less than half," muttered General Kagum of the African Coalition Forces. "Those aren't promising odds." Dr. Katri stepped forward. "Supreme Architect, your technical database mentioned theoretical weapons that could disrupt Horvath harvesting systems. Why haven't we implemented those?" The alien's color patterns shifted to something the software translated as hesitation or possibly shame. "Those systems require resources we no longer possess. Specifically, they require cores of super-heavy elements that were depleted during our long flight, like element 115. "Moscovium?" Dr. Katri asked. "Your designation is correct. We require approximately 300 kilograms to power the disruption array." Admiral Chen laughed bitterly. "Earth's total production of Moscovium to date is less than 1 gram. It's one of the most unstable, short-lived elements we can create." Dr. Katri's eyes widened. "Wait, the Zilari database included information on particle acceleration and nuclear synthesis. What if we could produce it?" For the next 4 days, Earth's particle accelerator facilities operated continuously, implementing Zilari techniques to synthesize and stabilize Moscovium. Meanwhile, the planet's population braced for potential conflict. Many fled to underground shelters. Others held vigils in churches, mosques, temples, and public squares. Some rioted. Most waited, watching the skies. On the 5th day, as the Horvath fleet crossed Neptune's orbit, the world's scientific community achieved what they had previously thought impossible: the stable synthesis of element 115 in significant quantities. "It's working," Dr. Wang reported from the CERN facility. "We're producing approximately 3 kilograms per hour using the modified accelerators. At this rate, we'll reach the required amount just before the Horvath arrive." Admiral Chen looked skeptical. "And this disruption array, it will work. According to the Zilari data, it targets the specific frequency of Horvath harvesting technology," Dr. Katri explained. "It won't destroy their ships, but it will neutralize their primary weapons, giving us a fighting chance." Chen nodded. "I'll take it." As Earth scientists worked frantically to produce enough Moscovium, military forces worldwide made final preparations. The Zilari transferred smaller defensive craft to Earth's forces, allowing human pilots to train rapidly on alien technology. Orbital platforms were manned by joint teams of humans and Zilari engineers. 6 days after the Zilari arrival, long-range sensors detected the Horvath fleet entering the solar system. 15 massive vessels, shaped like obsidian arrowheads, each nearly twice the size of the largest Zilari ark. "They've accelerated," Viridian observed, its skin patterns conveying alarm. "They will reach Earth orbit in approximately 19 hours. "We need more time," Dr. Katri insisted. "We're at 270 kilograms of moscovium. We need at least another 7 hours to reach the required amount." Admiral Chen studied the tactical display. "Then we'll buy you those hours. All defense forces, prepare for early engagement at the Mars perimeter." Earth's hastily assembled defense fleet, consisting of retrofitted satellites, space stations, and conventional military craft equipped with Zilari technology, moved to intercept the Horvath at Mars orbit. The 4 Zilari arcs stationed there adjusted their position to support Earth's forces. "This is Admiral Chen to all Earth vessels," she broadcast. "Today we fight not only for our planet, but for a principle, that in this universe, compassion is not weakness but strength. That different species can stand together against extinction. Hold the line for 7 hours. That's all we need." The battle began when the Horvath fleet, without warning or communication, fired massive energy projectors at the defensive line. 2 Earth vessels and 1 Zilari ark were immediately vaporized. Return fire seemed to dissipate harmlessly against the Horvath shields. For 5 bloody hours, the combined Earth-Zilari forces fought a desperate holding action, sacrificing vessels to slow the Horvath advance. The defensive line gradually collapsed back toward Earth, losing ships with each tactical retreat. "We've lost 60% of our outer defense platforms," reported General Kagam, his face grim on the command center screen. "The Zilari weapons are effective, but the Horvath shields are adapting. Estimated breakthrough to Earth orbit in less than 2 hours. We need more time," Dr. Katri pleaded. "The disruption array is at 92% completion. Just 1 more hour." Admiral Chen made a decision. "All remaining vessels converge on the following coordinates." She transmitted a position directly in the Horvath fleet's path. "We're concentrating our firepower on their lead vessel. If we can destroy even one, it might slow their advance." The desperate gambit cost Earth another 12 defense platforms and a last functional Zilari arc in the outer perimeter, but it succeeded in critically damaging 1 Horvath vessel, forcing the others to adjust their formation and temporarily slowing their advance. "Disruption array at 100% completion," announced Dr. Wong as technicians loaded the last containers of synthesized moscovium into the device constructed atop Mount Kilimanjaro. Similar arrays had been positioned at strategic locations around the planet. "Activate on my mark," Admiral Chen ordered as the remaining Horvath vessels entered Earth orbit, their massive forms blotting out the stars above major cities worldwide. On screens across the planet, terrified citizens watched as harvester probes began to deploy from the alien ships. 3, 2, 1, mark. The disruption arrays activated simultaneously, sending an invisible wave of precisely calibrated energy across Earth's atmosphere. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, one by one, the Horvath harvester probes faltered, their energy signatures fluctuating before they began falling back toward their motherships. "It's working," Dr. Katri exclaimed. "Their harvesting technology is failing." Across the tactical display, the Horvath vessels began to reorient, shifting power from weapons to propulsion. "They're retreating," Admiral Chen observed, disbelief evident in her voice. "They can't harvest without those systems, and they know it." As the Horvath fleet accelerated away from Earth orbit, a cheer erupted from command centers worldwide. Victory, improbable and costly, but victory nonetheless. In the days that followed, humanity and the Zilari began the process of recovery and integration. Temporary habitats were constructed in Earth's less populated regions to house Zilari refugees. Scientific cooperation accelerated as both species shared knowledge and technology. 1 month after the battle, Dr. Khatri stood with Supreme Architect Viridian on the observation deck of the International Space Station, looking down at Earth. 17 civilizations refused you sanctuary, she said quietly. Why do you think we were different? Viridian's skin rippled with thoughtful patterns. Your species is young by galactic standards. You haven't yet learned fear as the default response to the unknown. You still believe in possibilities rather than threats. That sounds like a diplomatic way of calling us naive. Khatri smiled. Perhaps, the alien acknowledged, its color patterns shifting to what the translator indicated was amusement. But consider this. The Horvath have dominated this sector of the galaxy for millennia because advanced civilizations consistently choose isolation over cooperation, security over compassion. They calculate odds and determine that helping others is too risky. And we didn't. No. You chose differently. Against all rational calculation, humanity extended its hand to strangers, knowing the risk but valuing the principle above the probability. That choice, that defiance of cold calculation, terrifies the Horvath more than any weapon. Dr. Khatri looked thoughtful. They'll return, won't they? Eventually, Viridian confirmed, but not as conquerors. The Horvath only attack when they believe victory is certain. Together, our civilizations have demonstrated that compassion can forge alliances stronger than their harvesting fleets. In time, others will join us. Below them, Earth continued its rotation, now home to 2 sentient species united by a simple, powerful choice: to answer a desperate call when the rest of the galaxy chose silence. We have much to learn from each other, Dr. Khatri said. Viridian's skin glowed with warm affirmation. Yes, and perhaps together, we have much to teach the stars.